Welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and those that do not have a preferred gender. Welcome to the VCS English broadcast, week 7, day 2. I am Mabinogi, and with me is the future corpse that is your way, and the man with no name, Clockwork. You're a future corpse, I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry you had to find out this way.
Where did this come from?
I've been watching a lot of Futurama. That's where it came from. I'm sorry. But corpse. We have to talk about the games today. And we're going to start off with the most important game of the week. It is the one where the miracle run continues. BTS, boys! Ooh. They have had their 2-0 week. It's the miracle run. So we'll bring up the predictions. Bring up their predictions, and you two suck. That's what my takeaway from the predictions are.
Okay. I have a semi-intelligent point to make here, if I may.
Clockwork.
I do believe in the BTS miracle run. I think there is a universe where they can make it, but I think that specifically against Cerberus, they're going to have a bit of a hard time because of stylistic matchup. They both look for late game team fights, and they prefer to scale compared to actively winning the early game. And if they play in the same way, I think Cerberus will be advantaged.
Though last time these two teams played each other, it was actually very, very close, 2 to 38-minute games, and the very last sequence of in the very last game was back and forth. I think BTS won a team fight, ran down in the top lane, I believe it was, and almost finished the game, then got wiped, and Cerberus counter-finished. So it was a very close game. Could be another very close series. I think we all predicted 3 games. In the end, I believe, just Cerberus' team fight prowess. Their ADC is just a little bit better. Their mid lane is just a little bit better. Their front and back team fighting is just a little bit better. So I believe it's going to be a close, hard-fought series, but Cerberus is going to come out ahead.
And, well, this is, as we mentioned, it is the miracle run for BTS, but it's not actually soup, but Cerberus has that bit of breathing room thanks to, if we can bring up some standings, SBTC falling down yesterday. Oh, we don't actually have standings. Never mind. I thought we might have had them. But anyway, we don't have standings. SBTC lost. That's the main thing. And that gives Cerberus that bit of breathing room coming in for those playoffs. And we're going to see a very different matchup.
It's only breathing room if they actually win against the lower tier teams, though, right? So they still have to play Team Secret, which is surging and trying to fight for their spot in the playoffs. So that's a hard series. They still have to play GAM, and then they still have to play SPTC. So this is actually the last easy series for Cerberus, or at least on paper easy series. So if they lose this one, this could go a long way to actually kick Cerberus out of playoffs. No one is safe right now. We have 5 teams vying for playoffs, maybe 4, maybe 6 even, if BTS can win this one, with only 4 spots. So that's why it's so exciting to watch this league unfold and the playoff race, because someone is going to get cut. Someone of the top 5 teams is not going to make it.
Yeah. Also, there's a big variance that can still come into effect, because there's 14 games in total. So Cerberus can still very well, in a very unlikely scenario, end up at 6 and 8, which is like unlikely because they're 6 and 3 now. Likely they will probably end up at something like 10 and 4, maybe. But every one of the team in the top 4 except GAM can still very well be knocked out.
Absolutely, yeah. And this week is important for Cerberus, as they have another game against Flash, which I didn't see. My apologies. So they have 2 supposedly easy games. If they win both their series this week, they would go to 8 and 3, and 8 wins is usually enough to get you to playoffs. Maybe you need 9 this time, but yeah, eight wins would put them in a very good position, and then they just have to win one of the remaining games against one of the better teams. So I feel like this week for Cerberus is to confirm their playoff spots, and it's on them to not drop the ball and not drop a random series to one of the weaker teams, because that could go a long way to actually prevent them from making playoffs.
Yes. Mathematically, 8 wins will secure them from dodging relegations, but realistically, should be getting them into that playoff spot with how far down BTS is sitting at the 3-6. They were 1-6 up until last week, and we were basically writing them off. But we saw, but sort of what I guess I won't say everything. What turned them around? Clockwork. What's changed for BTS?
I'm gonna take a page out of Rebel's book and say that surprisingly, Drakthar has performed incredibly well over the last weeks. It for sure helped that the new top laner, Ryuk, who came in instead of DH, actually helped them shoring up their most notable weak point. And Ryuk also, he played not to an excellent level, but still was very serviceable and helped a lot with what the team was doing. I also want to remark that in his he only played 6 games effectively, and he plays 6 different champions, like wildly different. He went from Jace to Ornn and from Aatrox to Karma. So he seems like a very adaptable top laner and might be key to many strategies, into many variations of playstyle that BTS might want to try against the upcoming opponents to secure their playoff spots.
Yeah, to me, one of the most important changes is actually the step up from Glory and Bikoro, mostly from Glory, because Bikoro has had a very good season, very good split, I should say, with 14 games on Kaiser. So maybe something you should attack against Bikoro here. 14 games in a single split is ridiculous on one champion. But then, Glory, the big star of the last week, I'd say. Glory and Drakthar stepping it up together. And if he can be the late game carry for this team, Bikoro being maybe the transitionary mid game to late game carry, Ryuk stable top laner, Drakthar stable jungler, Elio a very good support so far, then this team actually looks very decent. And comparatively with, for example, Percent Esports, kind of the same core of players last season, they've improved the early game quite significantly. They are still behind in gold, which almost all our teams are. Only 2 teams are positive, maybe 3 teams. So it's to be expected from a bottom tier team to be behind in gold, but it's only by 600 or 660 at 15 minutes. And last season they were at 2K, 3K at 15 minutes. So they've been getting so much better, so much more competitive in the first 15 minutes. And we always knew that Percent and now BTS could play the late game. So improving the early game can go a long way for them to actually get them into a playoff position, or maybe prepare them for a playoff race in the summer split.
I also want to add something about your early game, that when I was last week checking Cerberus, this stat, they were hovering around like 600 gold difference at 15 minutes, and now they dropped at 300. So as you mentioned, the BTS is improving on this front. Cerberus seems to be a bit falling. Maybe they're focusing even more on what they're good at, which is team fights and late game passages of play. But yeah, it looks like they're a bit, neglecting this early phase. So even if we expect both teams to be proficient at what comes at 20-25 minutes, the key part will also be early game. So yeah.
And I'd say there's a distinct difference between the way BTS and Cerberus approach late game. Because BTS picks for late game, while Cerberus plays for late game. What I mean by that is BTS really tries to draft compositions that are catered toward late game, with Zia in the mid lane, with long range ADCs or the Kaiser all the time, with tanks in the top lane and trying to scale. While Cerberus, they pick decent late game champs. They have 9 games on Orianna, for example, but then also 4 on Zoe and 2 on Twisted Fate in the mid lane. They have early game jungle focus mostly, and very much early game top lane focus with 7 games on Renekton. So Cerberus's compositions don't actually look that much like late game team fighting composition, but their play is geared toward going into the formation, the compact formations, letting their 2 late game carries take over the games. So that's an interesting distinction between the 2 teams, even though both are known for late game team fighting.
Well, we're going to have to see how they end up drafting, what compositions they do end up drafting this time around as we move into the Champ Select. We're expecting to see maybe BTS draft for late game and use their early game skills to get them there, and Cerberus use the strengths of their champions to survive their pretty mediocre early game and then get to the late game team fighting where they excel naturally as players. But we're seeing quite a bit of targeting down towards the supports. Makes sense that there are a lot of good supports in this matchup. There are 3 of them, in fact.
Yeah. Also, this will be a key position since last week we saw Rano P come back in style. Not Gam's player, of course, but despite Huba's great performances, Rano P came back and made a statement of a series. So banning supports might be a smart tactics, even if we're on 11.5. Rel has been a bit nerfed, still playable, but not as prominent as before. So interesting ban. We start with an Olaf for BTS. Let me check if Drakthar is also... Yeah, he is great Olaf player, most big champion, and he provides a good presence in the early game.
Sure. I don't think Rel really dropped in priority, honestly. The nerfs are very minuscule, and yeah, she's still the best engaging champion in the game. Tristana, though, of course, very, very high on the priority list. And Tristana Grace is already quite strong at dealing with Olaf. Very hard for Olaf to run Tristana down. She can burst him. If she turns around, she can create some more distance. Instead, we go back to a stable for Pun. Renekton 8th game now. So. And
I want to talk about Pun just a little bit. He stepped up huge in the series last week. He became actually a really strong threat. The idea of being replaced has lit a fire on him, and he is making a case to start up on Cerberus. But we see very, very interesting locking their Khan very early for Drakthar. Will we see the AD carry lock? Most likely.
So Zaya Khan mostly to deal with Tristana in lane. Interesting. Yeah. It can be very defensive. It can try to go all in on the Tristana too. Rakan is actually one of the better champs at engaging on Tristana, in my opinion, especially level 6, because his engage will basically disable her. So it's too fast for her to channel the W anyway. So even if you can buffer it, most of the time it's not going to come through. But before level 6, this lane is dangerous for Rakan to play because Leona is so much more tanky. Yeah. If she ever gets the jump on Rakan, Tristana can jump on top of him too, can follow up with all the bursts. So somehow BTS has to weather the storm of the early aggression, and we have seen so many, all across the world actually, so many solo and 2v2 kills from Tristana lanes because her burst levels are so insane.
I also want to add on Big Koro's AD carry champion pool. You mentioned that he has 14 games on the Kaisa. Xayah is his next most played champion at 5 games. So there's a huge gap. He still can't play the champion. For the next phase, Cerberus kept a counter pick spot for Shuhao. Most likely, if I'm BTS, I'm hoping that I get maybe a counter pick for Glory. This will help him hold the lane in the early levels. And Cerberus, of course, will try also to put Yado on some comfort. He has a very cool champion pool. I will never stop wishing for another Cassiopeia game. I don't think this is the best game for Cassiopeia angle. I also want to talk about the Trundle. No. Trundle has recently slightly be buffed, and it's a very good pick against, of course, tanky champions to steal their resistances.
It's insane into Olaf. It's really, really good into Olaf, because Olaf already drops resistances when he ults in. So if you manage to ult before he ults into your backline, you drop Olaf to almost 0 armor. So the Tristana is just going to look at the Olaf and say, well, you trying to fight me, I'll just one-shot you. And the Olaf is not a champion at that point. Also, Tron is one of the few champs actually able to win fights in the early game against Olaf. At least he was last year. I'm not sure if he's still able to do so, but I guess
possible.
if he plays it correctly.
It is. Except the level 1. I think the level 1 is still in Olaf's favor.
Definitely.
But levels 3 to 4. What's his face? Trundle makes sure you pay the troll toll. And we are seeing.
I want to look at BTS.
Very good.
I really like what they've done here in preparation-wise. This is a blue side composition. What I mean by that is they kind of ignored what the enemy was picking. They picked a composition crafted before even looking at anything the enemy was going to go for. Right? Olaf, very high priority, very good champ for Drakthar. Safe bot lane with synergy, with scaling, with engage, nice. And mid laner who's just going to scale, and a top laner who's just going to scale. So this composition does not need to look at anything the enemy team has to do. So it's very cohesive, it's very much from the get-go, you know what you play for. Late game team fighting, very strong front to back. So I like this composition. It's a blue side composition with no counters whatsoever. And I feel like Cerberus has kind of dropped the ball at countering what BTS was trying to do. Yes. Last picking the Graves, when Graves was a very obvious champ even in phase 1 of the pick and bans. It's kind of bad in my opinion. Both solo lanes get hard outscaled. I can smell the BTS miracle run from this draft.
For the Graves pick, I will just say I think they had another pick in mind, but the Azir/Ornn sent them away from it. That's why they ended up saving it to last, and Graves was their backup. Maybe they were looking for the Elise or something along those lines and thought, well, Elise isn't so hot into this matchup. We'll see. But
is Graves hot into Ornn?
better than Elise, I would imagine. More versatile.
Let's not discuss that in detail.
Okay, very quickly, I want to echo. Yeah, I want to echo Yui's point about Cerberus, who, despite we all know very well their tendencies, but still they favor the very early game Reliant composition with the Renekton, with the Syndra, whereas BTS has the Ornn, has the Azir, and still some early game power in the Olaf. So overall, my pick for this game goes to BTS.
All right, and your way?
Yep, I agree. I think BTS has come in with better preparation. Cerberus dropped the ball a little bit in the ban phase, pick phase number 2. So I feel like BTS is just going to outscale, and the game's going to go to 35 minutes or something, and then BTS just wins.
And to help me cast this wonderful mess of a game, we're gonna get Everyday in. How you doing? Welcome to the land of talking.
Oh, I'm allowed to talk now? Oh my god, I've been let out of my cage.
And you're doing just fine.
Yeah, we both went there. We both took that low-hanging fruit. Good job. Oh wow, good start. And I agree with a lot of what you guys were saying. I think BTS has sort of run away with a draft that I imagine they've scrimmed quite a few times. But Cerberus definitely has some very strong picks for themselves. Artemis on Tristana. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that one for sure.
Yeah, something we didn't actually touch. We touched on a little bit in saying he came back with a statement, but he is in again today. It is Ron OP. He is here, ready to go up against a bot lane that's been performing extremely well over the course of this split, but unfortunately haven't been able to find those wins. It is Elio and Big Co. So really both of these teams have very strong bot lanes and are likely to be playing around them. is somewhat echoed by the fact, look at these junglers, both starting on the top side, both going to make their way down that river. It's a little bit slower for Drakthar as he's decided to go for the full clear, but Zhuhao just wants to get down into that bot lane and make sure his shoving lane is safe from any mad Vikings that come to visit.
Yeah, I can't see the Olaf going down to the bot side super early on. It's just a little bit too hard to actually get anything done into the Leona Tristana. I think Xayah Rakan are just going to kind of have to deal with it for a little bit. As Ryuk gets a decent trade there onto Pun, but he's going to get shoved in. This might be a trap that BTS falls into. At the moment, 3 losing lanes. We know what that does in the VCS, though of course it's only 3 minutes in. These lanes can definitely still work themselves back to a more even position, particularly the mid lane. I don't think Glory will stay shoved in forever.
No, mid lane's going to be a little bit of back and forth in terms of pressure and farm. This speed of Zhuhao's has netted him this crab, and the
knock up onto Ron OP. There's a blade call at the heel's already been used. Ron OP has to flash. And without Drakthar even entering the lane, it's a good play from the BTS bot lane.
Yeah, they find their opportunity. It's a little bit early for Drakthar to work with, but they have got good vision into that river brush, and because he is spotted, Zhuhao is just going to pick up 2 crabs, and there's nothing on the spot side for Drakthar to take. So very good moves out of the grave so far, getting off to a great advantage. And he's actually going to back. He's not going to take advantage of the... Try and take advantage of the Gromp spawn. Does not want to tangle with Agatha. But he's got vision down, so he's going to spot Drakthar as he makes his way up there.
Ryuk is currently going for the early Bramble Vest. Could have had the 3-minute Bramble Vest if he had started Cloth Armor, but started the Doran Shield regardless. Elio caught, but look at Big Koro lurking. They're going to pull the trigger on this one. Ron OP, he's going to go down for sure. So the first one goes over to Cerberus, and with Yado arriving, it forces the cleanse. Big Koro falls, and Glory can do nothing but watch.
The Ignite comes in clutch and picks that up, and then, when the teleports come down, Glory is second to the play, and he is also not very effective at this level. He's only a level 4 Azir. No ult to swoop Artemis under the tower. No way to actually punish besides a few little dinky auto attacks. But
I feel like Big Koro,
you would just see
what is Big Koro doing?
It's all the bait to get the
But he stepped out of the bush.
To get the thing though. Yeah, it's a bait, but very good shot from Yado. They're predicting the flash with the Scout of the Week, and from here, yeah, what does Glory really provide? No one's low enough for his damage to do anything with. Big Koro heading back into the mid lane just because that's Glory's bot lane. They're gonna just sort of swap this around for now. They'll reset them. Fair enough. They're just trying to make sure no farm is lost, trying to reset those waves.
Ooh, the timing's not great though. But it's okay. Elio does manage to dash away. It's the wrong bird, but hey, I guess Rakan's colorblind. He doesn't know. As he jumps away to Azir instead, but this does give Drakthar a fair bit of knowledge. Oh, sorry, I should say Zhuhao a fair bit of knowledge. He starts up the Infernal Drake. BTS don't realize it's happening, or just know that they can't contest. So this early objective will go over to the boys from Cerberus.
Yeah, we're seeing the strength of these early lanes coming in from Cerberus. They tend to draft this way. They draft these really strong lanes and then play a nice slow game to get to the late game team fights. And currently, it's really paying off for them. They've got a decent jungle lead thanks to the crab control. They've gotten a lot going down in this bot lane due to a very good teleport from Yado and very good play from Ron OP, just being very tanky, and doing a lot of damage with that ignite. It's came in much more useful than the exhaust for Elio. Yeah, heal from Artemis probably also played a bit of a role in that 2v2 exchange that gave the first blood. But overall, top lane, it's Renekton into Warden. Yeah. It's a gold lead for the Renekton. It's just what it is.
Yeah, but it'll even out now that he has that Bramble Vest. It's just going to continue being, roughly this 10 CS. But Elio, a little bit caught out. Roto P hasn't popped out yet. Just pops a stun onto Big Koro. It's very hard for Cerberus to make a play happen down here, just with how far Rakan can get away due to the Lovers passives. It's really hard for them to do anything unless BTS makes a mistake. So far in this game, BTS has been playing really aggressive in this bot lane. Over-aggressive, in my opinion. And Cerberus can definitely punish aggression, even if they can't get it started themselves.
There's a lot of aggression that coming out from BTS, and they kind of need to play it as on the edge as they possibly can to try and make sure they don't lose too much just passively in terms of tower plates, in terms of CES to the turret. But it is kind of, but it did bite them in the ass a little bit with that first play. We're seeing good moves out of Elio, just dancing around the Zenith Blades for the most part, trying to make sure Rono P doesn't have quite that same pressure that he wants to have. And as it stands, it's nice for Cerberus, but if they don't work too hard on extending the lead, as Rick almost gets pun in a cheeky there, the cheeky knockup.
Almost would have been a solo kill if that lands.
Yeah,
Speaking of kills, there's Yado going on down. It was the Shurima Shuffle into the Viking Slam. Drakthar will get on the board.
Glory taking good advantage of that flash that was used in the bot lane play, tracked that flash extremely well, and that's going to be a kill. They're going to try and transfer it into a Rift Herald, but the bot lane from Cerberus is already here. So, gonna be a little bit careful.
Elio caught out. The Solar Flare interrupts the dash. The Rakan cannot escape, and with Pun moving down, this should be a Rift Herald picked up for Cerberus. Well played out of them. The rotation was right on time.
Yeah, the rotation came in very well. Elio getting a little bit too ahead of himself, did not actually have someone to leap back to, and just gets blown up as the Rakan. It was a bit of a 4v4 on the map, but Yado was respawning first. He's got there. They cannot fight that on that risk. And now the sort of switch comes through. Thankfully for BTS, them rotating Big Car up actually worked out in their favor, because now he's in the top side. He can help push those waves out. We're just going to see a bit of an alley-oop coming in, boop, and Drakthar's here to pick it up.
Yeah, that's just basically a scripted play. The Azir team force the flash at some point. I actually don't remember. I think maybe Yado flashed in the bot lane play. I don't.
It was in the bot lane play to get the scour of the week onto Big Car.
Which was a good play. Like Yado, that's a good way to use your flash. But once your flash is down, you're just gonna die to the Shurima Shuffle. There's nothing you can do. It's not Yado's fault. It's just a set play, and that's good from BTS. Remembering the flash timing and going, all right, send Drakthar in. We'll scoop him up and send him down to hell. Always good to see.
Yeah, they didn't have far to send him. He was already at the gates, after all. But what comes next, we have to see.
Yeah, they've still got the bot lanes have still swapped from BTS. They are still up on this top side, trying to get a little bit of pressure into the Renekton, perhaps feeling some heat. I actually feel like they botched the swap quite badly. Yeah. Ryuk was incredibly late. Oh, Elio takes a lot of damage for nothing, but Pun has managed to clear the wave. So down on the bottom side, Ryuk is in trouble. There it is. Look at all the CC. Cannot ram. He goes down, and Cerberus are running away like absolute robber barons. They are trying to dive Pun. They desperately want to get something back here. There's no Dominus. There is a flash.
It's crashing now.
Yep, there's the pop-up.
There we
go.
go.
Okay, easy kill. Wow. Very easy kill, but it's still not a good trade for BTS. They still lose pretty hard here.
They lose the tower. They lose the lose first tower. They lose the kill onto Ryuk, and they lose a lot of tempo with the Tristana. If they chose to commit they actually lose the dragon on top of that. really strong timing from Cerberus making these plays. They may not even pick up this tower. Oh no, the wave's coming in now. They're fine.
Nope.
Ron P.
No.
Ron P is enough to scare them off. They expect more to
towers
come.
are really, really tanky at this stage. The 5th plating takes a long time to go down.
Yeah, and
this is a massive fumble from BTS.
Yeah, and the main fumble was they sent Ryuk down and they didn't react to the swap. Big Karo and Elio don't need Drakthar hanging around the top side. If you are looking to trade, that's fine, but you need to commit much earlier and be ahead of the play to match the tempo gain that Cerberus has with the Rift Herald. So you need to either dive Pun first, which they didn't. They just sort of tried to harass him as a 2v1, which was probably never going to work. Renekton is just so much stronger than Zyra Khan at this stage. And then, or you need to defend Ryuk and try and hamper their tempo when they make the bot lane play. They did neither. They get bit. They don't even get the top tower. Now Artemis is up here, and this tower that was prepared earlier by Pun is just gonna fall down.
Are you getting flashbacks of a certain Flash game? Because I am.
No, it's not that bad.
It's not. I mean, it's pretty bad. This is. If he gets this tower, this is 10 plates for Artemis.
Yeah, I mean it's not good. It's not 10 plates. Two of them were taken by Pun, and there was shared gold on the bot side.
I mean, my point is not so much that it's as bad in terms of gold. It's that the decision making was as bad. What they did is they swapped, BTS swapped their bot lane up to go for the Rift Herald, and then just didn't actually go for it. So Cerberus got Rift Herald, they traded it for nothing, and then they lose out everywhere. They are getting smashed.
They got picked off when in rotation to their play, and that snowballs into losing the Rift Herald. And then yeah, as I said, they had one or two options. They were going for one, but they didn't act on it fast enough, and that has cascaded into a flurry of gold going over to Cerberus. That's what's ended up happening. It's not just we don't know what to do. It's just we've made an actively bad decision. It's we got picked off, which is a mistake. Absolutely. And then we were just slow to act, and which again mistakes, but not catastrophic failures of the team of the play altogether.
I think the result, however we reach the result, the
result has come out bad.
The result is catastrophic. It is basically an entire Phantom Dancer ahead. Ooh, Zelio will try and go in onto Ron OP. There's just no damage being dealt, and here comes Artemis. They do pick up that one kill. Drakthar doing well, but Artemis will claim him. Now they're trying to turn it around. Yado gets the stun, whips the ult, but it's just a pea shooter. Let's be real. Elio will live. Artemis did not manage to get the satchel charge on there in time. Ryuk now going forward with the ram. They want to try and get onto Yado, but Ryuk now, he's overextended, and Artemis does so much damage, even though it's Yado that picks up the kill. Featherstorm, but Pun coming in from the back. He goes for the flash Q, but it's answered by the flash from Elio. Ooh, very low on the Syndra. Glory flies on in, but he only gets the one kill. It's not really worth.
Oh, it looks like it could have been so much more, but he just doesn't have enough damage on the ultimate. Plus, Pun was in the lead, so he picks up the tower aggro. Big Karo is
playing with fire, but with Drakthar here, they're
to be very careful.
Safe. Look at the damage. Solar Flare. BTS is falling apart.
The flash.
I'm not sure if I'm just hearing the lag. Marby, I'm not sure if I've lagged out or if Marby has. I'm going to talk as if it's Marby that has. Sorry, Marby, you were making a good point, but you have unfortunately lagged out. As we do see picture-in-picture the second Herald being picked up, but the replay, as it goes out, if Ryuk hits that knock-up, I think this fight goes very differently, but Yado with the quick fingers managed to flash away. Pun does enough in the backside, just zoning to make sure Elio can't really get anything done. And Glory, if he has one more item, he might get 2 or 3 kills there, but unfortunately Azir at this stage in the game just doesn't really do enough.
Lovely color every day.
Thank you,
nice
Your
review
Way.
of the fight.
Thank you, Your Way. Thankfully, we always have extra casters, so Marby hopefully can sort their internet out soon enough. But in the meantime, I will lean on the dulcet tones of Your Way to help out.
Well, at this point, the game is in a very, very dire spot for BTS. They need to make a pick happen on Artemis, in my opinion. He flashed aggressively in the last team fight, which wasn't the greatest decision, so maybe there's a chance there, but look at the
Solar
damage.
Flare into Glory. There's Elio straight into the back line, just playing the suicide. And, I mean, look at Artemis. Look at
Guess we're just
Artemis.
surrendering the game.
Yeah, this is a soft surrender.
So, just look
Alright.
at what was actually coming up. Oh,
There we go.
And finish your point your way, because I don't know what's going to happen.
okay, fair enough. It was just the third dragon. It was a Cloud Dragon too. They are so far behind. They know they can't
I don't
fight
like
looking
that
at the items. They still opted to go for the engage. So, very bad decision making by BTS. And have fun with the rest of the game, Marby.
Welcome back, Marby. We do apologize, everyone. Internet issues are a thing. That's why we have backups. But it is back to the main analyst, my good friend Marby. And
Hello.
are you back in the stream and all that? You see what's going on?
I think so.
Okay, good.
I currently see a tower has been knocked down, and we are currently
Yeah. If you're
following
if you're in the
Glory running to top lane.
yeah, mostly in the stream, I think.
And it's lagged again.
Oh no. Oh dear. You might want to check your downloads and stuff. Maybe you've got something running, because that's unfortunate. We will try and get this sorted. Australian internet, like, there's only so much we can do. Blame Scott Morrison and Malcolm Turnbull. As Artemis continuing to get stronger and stronger, is now 7-0, an absolute smurf performance on this Tristana. Oh no, I think Marby's fully DC'd. Your Way, you might need to come back. Unfortunate stuff. It's a shame. I love casting with Marby, but I love casting with Your Way too. So
Well, to be fair, there's not much game left, so
no, Marby is not
this is
missing.
the perfect game. This is the perfect game for this to be happening. We were kind of hopeful for BTS after seeing the draft. I'm still very much of the opinion that the draft was a nice attempt and it was a very good blue side draft, but in the end, two over-aggressive moves from the bot lane, especially Elio getting caught in the rotation, caused them to fall behind so much. And Cerberus used... We also have to praise Cerberus, not only talk about BTS. Cerberus used the advantage they've gotten.
Drakthar caught out. Ragnarok is used. He flashes away to have land the collateral damage. The solar flare, just a moment too early. Yado scatters the weak. Suhao flashes over the wall. End of the line. He wants the kill. He wants that KD. And it's another kill picked up for Cerberus. Do continue your point.
Yeah, Cerberus is not taking the game seriously anymore. There's no reason to flash for that kill for Suhao, but yeah, he wanted it, so fair enough. Usually, when you miss the ult, you say, yeah, well, okay, I missed the ult. I don't deserve the kill here. But instead, he really wanted that one. So yeah, I feel like Cerberus punished BTS for that one big mistake where Rakan got caught, no flash for him to get out of the engage. So he got caught, everyone already rotated toward Herald, but then they couldn't fight for Herald, so they lost everything on the map. They lost Herald, all the towers. Tristana pushes faster than Zaya, then also a fumble from BTS on top tower. I believe they could have gotten the tower. But instead, now Cerberus with the snowball, and this Tristana, who can even stand in front of her? I don't think Rio can tank a full rotation of Tristana at this point, so it's looking like a game 2 very quickly.
Yeah, it is definitely looking that way. Look, as you said, we've been very positive with BTS. They've definitely improved quite a lot, and, you know, we like seeing miracle runs. I certainly always back an underdog, which BTS was, but in this game, we're seeing who the real three-headed dog is, and it's Cerberus, because they are absolutely chomping at the bit to get this one over with. I agree. I think BTS, if you turn the nameplates off, you'd have to back BTS's draft most of the time, but not when Cerberus is in this hot form.
Yeah, and BTS also playing a little bit worse than last week. It's their first game of the week, right? So maybe some jitters still. They're back on stage, which is different from last week. It's quite a big change as well. So yeah, understandable, but a very unfortunate timing for this team. They need this victory. They need every single victory if they want any chance at getting to playoffs. So
yeah, exactly.
They need to recover quickly between games, or maybe hope for a throw in this one. Ryuk finally hitting level 13, so Rhymeforged Grasp coming in, but yeah, he still needs so many more items.
See, the thing about Ornn items, I think this is a change from last season, is it's not as much of a spike anymore when you get your Ornn items.
For sure.
It's a power increase, but it's not a spike. When you hit level 13 last season on Ornn, it was ridiculous.
I mean, there's a reason why Cyan and Cho'Gath are better right now as tanks.
Yeah.
Because they just scale better. They have better CC in the late game, especially Cho'Gath. They have more HP to work with. They are just tankier while still posing some threat. The one thing that I really like about Cho'Gath is that you can't just ignore him in fights like you can Cyan or Ornn even. Cho'Gath is just going to eat you and engage.
Yep, the Ornn Horn is blown. It does knock Artemis up, but he's very well out of position. But Pun has found the flank of the Sentry. Glory has to use his wall just to try and defend himself. Artemis has picked up the first. He's going to keep going on forward. There it is. Hop over the wall. He's found Ryuk. Going to be Zhu Hao who takes the kill, but all the damage was this Tristana. Oh my word, the Bandle Gunner. Look at her go. It's going to be Cloud Soul, and I mean, honestly, if there was a game you could surrender, it's this one.
For sure. I'm still very surprised what BTS is trying to do here. Their read on this game is they have to engage. Well, I don't agree with them at all. I mean, they have two very good engage champions, right? They have Ornn and Rakan, usually a strong engage, but the enemy team is short-ranged, and their only long-range champion is Tristana, and even she isn't that long-ranged, so let them come into you. Maybe they overextend, maybe they scatter their formation, and you get a kill or two. Why do you engage all the time? I hate when people do this. Just use your range advantage, use your kite advantage. You have Azir, Xayah, two of the strongest, most self-sufficient backline carries. Let them backline carry. Don't put them into the front line. Don't put them into the meat grinder.
It reeks of desperation. And not even just desperation, underconfidence. They think they have to do it because if
and also misunderstanding. Straight up misunderstanding of what their champions are supposed to do. They look at Rakan and Ornn and say, hey, we have to engage. But why? You can also use the champs to peel. Especially Rakan can just sit on the Xayah and Azir, and whenever someone comes in, he just ult Ws. They have enough time to kill them. He can peel too. He's better at engaging, but why would you engage here? You're 10k gold down. You're looking at Cloud Soul. Who cares? You need to scale. You don't need to engage. This is something, especially worse teams do quite a lot, and it's sad to see.
It always it reeks to me of, the fear is, well, Cerberus is the better team. If we let them play their game plan, they win, right? So they feel like they have to throw the wrench at them. Don't. I mean, let's be real, Cerberus
and draft something different.
Draft something different, but also, from a mentality point of view, in my opinion at least, on the day, you just have to think you're the better team. Yeah, okay, Cerberus is the better team, we all know that, but if you're a BTS player, you just have to assume you're better.
I feel like it's also a little bit of laziness.
You never win if you think you're worse.
It's a little bit of laziness, in my opinion. Maybe thoughtlessness is the better word, because they didn't take this time to think about the situation in the game. Do you need this Cloud Soul? No, you don't. It's actually probably better for you if the Elder Dragon spawns in 6 minutes, because in 6 minutes, your ADC is going to have 3 items, your top laner is going to have 2 more levels, 2 more on items, so Elder Dragon on the map is better for you than a Cloud Soul on the map. Cloud Soul is not going to get you anything, so why would you try to contest that fight? Why would you try to engage on them if you have the longer ranged composition? Let them walk into you, let them get the Cloud Soul if they want to, and just scale. I think that's just a little bit of thoughtlessness. They are checked out of the game already. They think, okay, the game is over. But it's still something I hate to see, because it's a pro game. You should always think about your win conditions, about what you can do to make the game as close as possible, to let them sweat for it, because it's a series. You still have to play 2 more games. You want to play 2 more games, maybe just 1 game. but you need to make the enemies doubt themselves. This is just a huge induction of confidence for Cerberus.
Yeah, you have to make Cerberus at least sweat. At the moment, you know, it's a running race. BTS are in a full sprint, and Cerberus just walked to overtake them.
Now they're running backward and laughing at them at this point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is kind of hard to talking about this game because it is pretty donezo. It's a 13k gold lead at 27 minutes. Cloud Soul secured for Cerberus, and their comp by no means terrible in the late game. It's not like they have no hope if the game goes
especially
super
from ahead.
long. Yeah, I think this Tristana has been a fantastic performance. Artemis, quietly, Cerberus is one of those teams that I feel like they fly under the radar a little bit.
I want to talk about Artemis. Finish.
Yeah, I was about to prompt you to talk about Artemis. So rock and roll, mate.
Yeah, I thought bringing up Artemis would be nice because he's 905. He is the number one. He's back to number one in our MVP race. And yeah, he is the best AD carry the whole split. He has had impressive performances. He has had very, how could you call it, very mature performances on ADCs, I'd say, where he knows exactly what to go for, what to prioritize, how to win the game from whatever position, even from behind, even when his team is behind. He knows how to carry them. So I've been very impressed with this player. And once again, he's showing us that he can also play the aggressive style. It was a little bit dire in the early game. If he doesn't get the first engage where the enemy team just sacrifices themselves, I'm not sure if it goes quite as nicely as it has in this game, but flawless execution. He went for the one over-aggressive flash, but all power to him, he didn't get punished. So go for the style plays, why not? You're styling on this game. 905. Another insane performance from this player.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely agree with you. He is a very cerebral player. Lots of players in the VCS have fantastic mechanics, and Artemis has great mechanics, but he's also very smart. He knows when to go in and when not to go in. Even in this game, like, there's been a few fights where other ADCs in the VCS would have been jumping forward and potentially getting punished. Well, he's just sat back and said, I just don't need to. I don't need to get a quadra kill. My team will get 4 kills anyway.
Yeah, and if you kill Olaf and if you kill the 2 tanks, the enemy team can't do anything. They're too squishy to advance, so just focus on Olaf, one-shot him every fight, and the enemy team is basically completely invalidated. So as long as he doesn't get caught by any big CC, he's fine. He can do whatever he wants. Nice flank from Yado.
Oh, look at the solar flare. They can't follow up on it, or rather, they don't feel the need to.
But they chunk Glory, and look at the timer. Elder Dragon is coming up, so this is a free Elder Dragon. Absolutely nothing BTS can do to contest this one, so I quite like the play from Cerberus. Go for an engage, but don't overplay your cards. Just go for the engage, see what sticks. Maybe you get a kill, maybe you get some damage, and now the game's over because Elder Dragon is here.
Yeah, but they are going to go in. That's the first kill there for Artemis. He jumps on wood, and they pick up 2 more in a flurry of blows. BTS bearing on down Glory with the next one to fall under the weight of Pun. And with a buster shot, Big Koro is banished to the depths of the fountain. They're going to try and pad their KDAs as the Nexus is exposed. They will let Big Koro live, surprisingly. But, well, this was not what I would call a close game.
Whoa, he lives.
Oh, he lived. What do you know? This was not what I would call a close game. In fact, this is what I would call a bit of a stomp. And it is Cerberus coming up to the 1-0 lead. I'm sure production hates us right now because we have the wrong casters on. But
Hello.
Marby is back, so that can help them out. As I don't know, whoever you've got prepared. Do that then. Yeah, we did have a few production issues. Thank you, Your Way, for coming and helping out. Good to have you. Marby,
Hopefully.
You missed some of that game.
Hopefully.
Do you have a final point before we go to break?
I think Tristana is a very strong pick, and 3 losing lanes is not the way to go, usually. Shocking about 3 people who have never played League of Legends before.
Yeah, crazy stuff. All the TSM fans.
I don't know, sorry.
All the TSM
I only got to watch about half that game.
Yeah, hopefully your internet issues are resolved. But if production's ready, we will go to a little bit of a break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. Prepare to put your Rebel Franks on the line and also support the stream if you so feel like it. We'll be back soon.
Welcome back. Welcome back. If you listen very quietly, if you listen now, you can hear sound of a million stands crying out in anguish because BTS kind of got their shit pushed in. Wow. Yeah, they got wrecked. They got absolutely bodied, wrecked, destroyed, or however that copy pasta goes. Anyway, Artemis popped off. Everyone popped off. Clockwork, take us through.
Okay.
What?
So I came here today expecting great team fights, and we're getting none of that. I want to focus on the early game then, at what prompted everything from Cerberus. So it began in the bot lane, where the first couple of trades in favor of Ranopi and Artemis got them a few kills. Drakthar was like, in his defense, read the play. He was there in time, but Ilio just misplayed the whole situation so much that Cerberus bot lane took a couple of plates, then they rotated early to the Herald. Ranopi caught Elio again with his pants down in a bush. They took the Herald, dropped the Herald down in the bot lane to take the tower, and then rotated Artemis on top lane again and took another tower. So this, by 13 minutes, got Artemis with 10 plates. And on Tristana, you can autoplay that and the game is over. So it all started from the bot lane. There's a bit of support bias because it was my role also, but I think that Ronopi was especially key in catching Ilio in every misposition that he had and then to start the snowball.
The funny thing is, I actually think he didn't do anything himself. It was kind of like he was there, yes, and he landed his skill shots, yes, but actually, like level 2, he completely disrespected the level 3 power spike with Cord, had to flash. Then the enemy team decided to hard in bot lane, and then he rotated with his team to the Rift Herald, and he was there, yeah, nice. But then Elio just face checked again, so I kind of think he got handed a very good support performance on the silver platter by especially Elio, who in the early game just did some weird moves after a good start in the early game. I thought they had full control in bot lane, and then they went for the cheese level 3 all in for no reason into a whole wave, and that basically lost the game with the snowball into topside.
Yeah, this is also surprising because Elio has been one of the best performing member on BTS, and this kind of mechanical misplays, but also technical, like he was in the wrong position at the wrong moment. Yeah, and this kind of overall bad performance is not what I expected from Elio. Like I would expect from, I don't know, TH. We knew that he was the worst member in BTS, but not from Elio. And now, wisely, BTS is targeting the Tristana and the bot lane again in the bans.
Yeah, I think one word to sum up the whole performance of the whole team, but especially Elio for me, is just thoughtlessness. I feel like he just didn't think enough about what he was doing, what his power spikes were. You can't just wander into an unwarded bush when you know the enemy team swap level 5 Rakan without flash. That's just something you can't do. Yeah.
Cerberus is still taking away the Olaf.
I guess after 6 weeks of Rel Alistair, you just think you're tankier than you are. But, okay.
It's like Cerberus also taking away the Olaf, so maybe they were a bit concerned about what BTS still managed to attempt in the early game. As I said, Drakthar was still in the right moments at the right times, and it could trade very effectively into the graves in the early skirmishes. So wisely, Cerberus take it away and lock the Ekarim, so to pinch Drakthar's champion pool. I think it will be forced on Udyr. I still want to see the Trundle, but of course you can really blind pick it at
I have to go
for the Udyr.
God, I hate this trade so much. I think on 11.5 this trade is so bad. I would never trade Hecarim Udyr on this patch. Hecarim is so much stronger than Udyr. He scales better, Udy's
Oh,
clear got nerfed.
Is that a traitor? No, of course it's
I mean,
not.
The
It's
thing
one of
is,
the Chorus
the one deciding the trade is Cerberus so much. BTS probably
I mean,
didn't have
BTS
to
banned
ban the
Lilia. You
Lilia.
can just leave
could have
Lilia
gone
open.
Lilia for Hecarim.
Yeah.
I think absolutely that's probably the better move, but it's not that bad. It gives
Really?
them a better
I've not seen Udyr do
jungle than
anything in this matchup in the VCS
they
in
had.
the last 2 weeks.
better last time. I mean, the thing with it is, Hecarim has a lot more initiative, especially as the games go later on. You have the Onslaught of Shadows that does a lot for your team, but we're going to see has a bit of a stronger AD carry matchup at the very least. Now we need to sort of see how they want to round out that support position if they choose to go for that in this point.
Oh no.
Picking a
BTS is going early
that's
game.
good.
It's
No,
doomed,
that's good.
guys. It's doomed.
Ooh. Okay, so I still like
Okay.
that BTS is keeping their counter picks, or at least one, for their solo lanes, which is going to be instrumental since they are not going to win the bot lane. So
support.
who like
That's the
probably
support Galio.
support Galio.
Calling it.
I believe it
Probably.
is. I am assuming that it's a support Galio and not mid, because otherwise it would be a very weird draft. Like keeping your counter pick for the support, knowing full well
Just
that you're
ban
not going to
Nocturne.
win bot lane, would be bad.
They just banned Nocturne.
Nocturne also. Nocturne mid has seen
Not with an AD jungler though.
right.
I think they want to play Gnar. They're scared of Nocturne top lane actually, not mid lane. I think they want to lock Gnar here and then try to go with something as a counter pick in mid lane. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Gnar here. Cerberus could ban that away. No, Syndra instead.
So they're looking to try and take away Glory's safe blind picks. But if BTS were going to go for something along the lines
Why?
of the Twist of Fate,
I do not
but now they're
like
just going for the Orianna, which is
Don't
Zoe
pick
was
Rice
much
into
better
Orianna.
blind,
Come
in my
on.
opinion.
It's not going to do it. Rise.
What is this draft? This draft has been so weird.
This
Okay,
count
so
doesn't make a
BTS
ton of sense.
BTS is not drafting really well, but Cerberus is kind of playing with their foot at this point, with their eyes into could be like very unlikely, could also be Rise top. They can flex it to avoid the Shen.
Oh, I like Shen Hecarim always. I think Shen Hecarim is such a cool combo.
Do not
Like
pick
this. Oh,
Okay.
okay. We back to Renekton because it's Pun, and Pun basically only excels on Renekton. It's fair enough. If Renekton is open all the time, go Renekton. Why would you counterpick Gnar though? Gnar, you could have faced up Gnar on R4. There was no reason not to go Gnar there. Man, draft order is so messed up today. Just draft like humans. Come on.
On top of that,
What is happening?
I want to add that giving the counter pick for your top laner, like rookie top laner. Okay, I understand that Pun is renownedly Cerberus' weak point, but I don't think that giving so much comfort to Ryuk is going to turn the game in your favor. I would much rather to see a counter pick for Glory, which has proven very instrumental in BTS wins. And overall, this comp makes on the side of BTS makes for very good team fighting if they can get to that point.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more the style they wanted to play last game as well, with a lot of engage. They want to be the ones deciding where and when to fight. So they have the Gnar, they have the Kai'Sa and Galio jumping in, and then Orianna just standing back, waiting for a moment to strike with the ultimate. So definitely don't mind the composition as a whole. Got way better in the second phase. I just hate the pick order.
The pick order is definitely something to question. The Renekton, of course, doesn't have many bad matchups, so it just sort of makes you wonder Meanwhile, Na does. So it makes you wonder, why aren't you just picking Renekton R4? That seems like a good time to pick it. Hun not likely to be one of those Quinn players we hear so much about. But anyway.
I mean, they wanted Na. They banned away Nocturne, the Na counter, and then they didn't pick Na and then they ended up picking Na in the end anyway. So it's like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to pick Na safe, or are you not trying to pick Na? I just hate when people go back and forth on the one thing they actually already decided on. But yeah, that's not rather nice. I'll go first for my prediction. I think Cerberus is the better team on the day. I think Cerberus is just going to win.
I'm gonna still believe in the
BTS. Are we gonna...
BTS always, win or lose,
BTS
they go to 3 games. And on top of that, they don't have 3 losing lanes, which is a good starting point to get to where I want them to shine. So it's the team fight late stage game. So I'm gonna put my money on BTS.
Alrighty, so split on the desk. I'm hoping for 3 games because I'm hoping for the whole BTS miracle run back every day. What are your takes on these drafts we've been given?
I mean, I am very, very annoyed. I have to echo my good friend your way that they need to learn how to draft. Their ordering is very, very bad. I agree. I think there was no reason not to pick Na R4, but in the end, I do think BTS have put together a pretty good composition. The Udyr is a little bit questionable. He's much weaker on this patch. But still completely serviceable. It's something Drakthar has performed decently on in the past as well. And I like Glory's Orianna. And I mean, they picked Ryze into Orianna. They just counted themselves. So in the end, doesn't really matter that you kind of screwed up your draft ordering because Orianna is a good pick into Ryze regardless.
Yeah, so we wind up looking at a bit of an interesting situation as time goes on, though. The early game should be pretty even. BTS having a very strong, unless Elio just decides I don't like my health bar. That's just where we're going with that. But yeah, we have to see, like, they have a...
What? You good?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Everything went robot for a second.
Oh, hello. We've got a horse in
robots,
the mid lane. The robot's in some trouble. Zuhao played that one a little bit weird. Glory trying to play around the ball. But, there's a rocket, a hard place. Glory on the run. He's got the legs and he's out of there.
Oh my god. That looked really, really dicey with that flash over the wall, but he's able to keep his distance. Yado didn't want to overcommit in case the burst from Glory came through, but Glory just uses that to get the shield, get the phase rush on, and wander away. It's still a good amount of pressure coming down from Zhuhao. Forces the flash, forces the teleport. They can look to try and punish that on the return. Glory isn't even able to back for a tier. He has to back so early. Which is good news. It sets the Orianna even further behind. It sets the Orianna behind in a pretty weak early game to begin with. But it does reveal his presence. It gives Udyr the opportunity to walk into this jungle and camp the chickens.
This is interesting.
We are spawn camping chickens.
Yeah. Okay,
or he's trying to camp Yado.
Well, let's get a replay on this one. Look how Zuhao plays this. It's a bit weird. I think he was trying to wait for the flash. That makes sense, actually.
Trying to sort of bait the flash / keep the CC chain up with Yado's in prison, try to get the most CC out, but pushes him towards the wall, and then, yeah, very good use of the shielding and phase rush to get out by Glory.
Well,
meanwhile, we saw on the top side, Zhuhao making another thing happen.
Well, yeah, he made an attempt, didn't actually get much done, as Ryuk did get away, didn't burn his flash, so he's okay. I will admit, so far, the level of play in the 2 early games, or the very early games, has not been very good. A lot of mistakes being made. Like, Glory should never escape there. He should just be 100%.
No, he really shouldn't have. But there has been benefit to what Zhuhao has done. He's set the lanes up so that Yado and Pun have been able to
Drakthar in position for a flash bear slap.
Never mind.
There it is. A lot of damage going in straight onto the blue man. And Drakthar now racing under tower. The ball will get the kill, and Drakthar escapes by the hair on his chin. And BTS are off to a good start.
Yeah, the kill going exactly where they want it to, onto the Oriana. Now they just need to be careful. Zhuhao's making his way up, but Drakthar is going to be able to evacuate safely. As I was saying, Zhuhao had done great plays to give Yado and Pun those cheater recalls so they could back for a few items and get back without expending the teleports while BTS has to force this, but it's all been it's been undermined in the mid lane by that gank from Drakthar. Picks up a kill for Glory, makes it so he can try and get back with a comfortable recall. And look at this, just Pun, and we're trying the same thing with Ryuk, but lots of CS for Pun to pick up. He's getting himself off to a pretty decent start. Actually, no, never mind. What am I talking about? Ryuk has cleaned up the CS lead from earlier. I miscounted that.
Oh, hello, Drakthar.
Drakthar.
In trouble. Zhuhao going forward. The Realm Warp was there as well. Elio gets here in time, but not enough to save his jungler. Now Glory has to take a fight. There's the two-man shockwave, but it just doesn't matter as Yado zones them off well. And Cerberus fire back, and we are back at dead even.
Yeah, it was a very, very good collapse onto the jungler of BTS. And that's going to give them... But the damage from Glory is good. It manages to dissuade them from turning that into an immediate Ocean Dragon. He kind of wishes that the Shockwave was a little bit more forward and could have caught Yado. If it did, it may have been a kill for him. But as it is, it's just going to be the pick for Cerberus. And everything is back to even, as you said. Bit of a lead in the jungle compared to a bit of a lead in the bot lane. That's where you're seeing the differences come through. And Cerberus pulling ahead by a mere couple of 100 gold.
Yeah, very even at the moment. I actually think it'll even out as Big Koro catches this wave. He's a bit of a CS lead down on the bot side. 4 or 5 CS. Ooh, make that 5 with that silly missed one there. But no big deal whatsoever. Pun going for the cull up here on the top side. I think it makes a lot of sense up against Gnar.
Yeah, he got a free recall off that first bit of pressure from Zhuhao, so just gonna use that to sort of balloon himself into a strong position, make use of this early game. But Gnar's been able to find himself a small lead thanks to just having that range advantage plus a bit more defensive stats by rushing those boots. Yeah. So it should average out to about the same once that call sort of pops, unless if nothing major happens. But in that 60 CS, something major should happen, or we're going to be here for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I hope something happens in the next 68 CS for the top lane. Then again, top lane probably not where things are going to happen.
I know there is a Rift Herald being started up, but Drakthar may be looking to chase away Zhuhao.
I'd love to look over there at some point, but we've got to watch the farm, of course. As Pun will pop the Dominus, the hop away from the Gnar. This will be the Rift Herald secured. Cerberus, the threat of their bot lane was there, and they execute that swap well.
And we're seeing the Rift Herald. Shelly is just being really rude to teams. People are so hesitant to talk to her. And the late swap from Big Koro, missing out on the ability to just free farm into the bot lane. They rotated Elio early, good. But then they see, the whole bot lane's rotating. They don't decide to shove bot lane. They decide, Big Koro, come up and do nothing. Thank you.
And now they miss another wave of farm.
Yes.
BTS. This isn't good.
Trading this wave for the Baron, but Dragon. With the pressure from Dragon, that's a wave for Baron is much better, especially in 9 minutes. 9 minute Baron is impressive stuff.
Yeah, 9 minute Baron would be pretty hard.
Yado has basically decided to win the lane and just built the strongest item on patch, picked up that verdant barrier.
Oh,
But
Elio, a
speaking
little bit
of front
caught.
patch-
Rono P. There's the onslaught of shadows. The shockwave is lovely, though, to hold them back. Solar Flare doesn't get a stun, only the slow. Strakthar comes on in, on the side. Yado goes low, Yado goes down. And the big blade caller from Artemis might dissuade the continued fight, but Drakthar will never be dissuaded as Big Koro launches himself into the backline, does enough damage that Drakthar can clean up the kills.
So that actually is a one fight. A lot of plates went down, and got spread amongst the team of Cerberus, but Ryuk not having him teleport up means he doesn't end up following up Pun, and he's just going to collect the bounty on the bot lane. So overall, gold actually goes into the favor of BTS. And very good play. They saved the turret that still at risk of being knocked down. It is very low, but if they can hold on to that top side, if they can play it out correctly, maybe they can rush this bot lane turret and take that first. Not super likely, but it's a lot of gold back, and that is a good lead for Ryuk to work around.
Yeah, for sure. This was pretty well played there. Well executed by Drakthar and Big Koro in particular. It's Ryuk now with the jump on Yado, but yeah, Rune Prison's pretty good.
Yeah, Rise surprisingly hard to catch for a person who doesn't have much in the way of mobility built into his kit.
What do you mean? He wiggles his arms a few times, and then phase rush procs, and he just sprints away.
Technically, that's not in his kit, the phase rush.
But it may as well be. You're never taking a different
May as well be.
Australian lanes have been deployed. Big Koro and Artemis are both up on this top side. They want to try and get this tower, get the first brick, as you were saying. But with the BTS bot lane here, that's not going to be possible for at least a little while.
Yeah, but having the side lane shove from Cerberus means they have the ability to try and make more things happen around the map. Both side lanes are pushing, which, yeah, the collapse can happen. Glory has a little bit of
onslaught of shadows. Good flash.
Good flash. Yeah, good flash coming through. Glory has a decent amount of wave, but still has to play safe because things like that can happen. They don't have a lot of control over the mid lane, and all the vision on the map pretty much belongs to Cerberus.
Yep, it's very true. As we do watch this little farm fest, we've had some major things happening in the 60 CS that we were tracking from earlier. The game it's not cracked open though. It's only this 700 gold difference between the teams. BTS much happier than they were last game, of course, though. By this point, last game, it was pretty donezo. Because we do have the first ADC mythic completed. Xayah has picked up her Gale Force.
Yeah, it's good to see Xayah itemizing correctly this game, as opposed to the Kraken Slayer. Not the best on the Xayah. Of course, the damage is still nothing to be snuffed.
Yeah, I feel like Gale Force is just so strong on Xayah. Yeah, giving Xayah a dash is pretty broken. As yeah, nothing much happening at the moment. It's a slow game for VCS standards, for sure.
Very slow. Very slow indeed. Lots and lots of lovely things happening as we can enjoy it. Enjoy the slow.
Sorry, I just heard a...
What we're looking for.
Outside.
There's my computer lights out.
No, you're okay. You're here.
Yeah, no, it's alright. My stream sort of decided to freeze as a bit of a support scrap happened. But we're going to see this tower finally fall. This is going to be gold into the pockets of the Xayah. That's going to get her to go back. She's going to most likely rotate into the mid lane. The dragon is coming up, but Drakthar is there first. He's got they're in a very good position, but the gold is dead even, but a lot more of it is on Artemis. than it is on Big Car, and that could be very important, as unless they can take out Zhuhao. Realistically, they can't fight the dragon, but they're actually backing
Looks like
off instead.
Cerberus. Yeah, I think BTS can just give this one up. I don't think they have any need to fight here. They are trying to get a catch. Artemis was ignited. Rono P will throw the Zenith Blade. And now needs to find a way out.
Oh no, he's done
Solar
it.
Flare's not going to be good enough. He doesn't get into the Rise ult. That was pixels away from working. Wow, that was close.
So close.
Oh, Rono P. I understand he really thought he was going to make it, but he had Flash. If he flashes, he gets away. Hard call to make because it really was pixels, but should have flashed. Ryuk puts Pun up against the wall, but will get away from the sneaky reinforcements.
And with that it's going to be in for the like BTS. They still need to catch up those turrets, as another one is going to go down for the side of Cerberus, and this is just a bit of a snowball coming up from them. They're first on the map to everything they wanted. Now they can shove these waves in, then they can rotate into the mid lane and knock down yet another turret with that pressure, because what is Big Koro and Co gonna do? They're gonna drop a Rift Herald, which is actually a decent
Elio's in trouble. Gale Force
decides
forward.
to ignore it entirely and try and kill Elio.
Yeah, he doesn't quite do it. The Gale Force forward wasn't enough. Zhu Hao goes in, secures his own blue buff. There's a shockwave though. But the Onslaught of Shadows is good to get the Hecarim out of there. Rono P will throw himself forward. Yardo beginning to whip in some damage. The teleports have been called. Drakthar chunked. Oh, that's a perfectly timed Solar Flare. Ryuk will just get deleted on the spot. Elio wondering what he followed up on, and BTS might have just thrown the game. As Cerberus, ooh no, they won't be able to get anything more. Big Koro playing with fire, but he doesn't get burned.
Yeah, so managing to pick up 2 kills does Cerberus off of a bit of an overreach by BTS. And now they can just turn this around. These kills are going to lead to more. It's all happening. And if they cannot win these fights, it's just more objectives. As Draktar's going to scrap with Zhuhao on the bottom. It's currently
he's
going in the way of
really
Draktar.
spank him, but Big Koro just gets wiped out.
No. And without Big Koro at this point of the game, it's just... there's nothing left for BTS to do. Glory hasn't got the mana to step up, and BTS just falling apart at the seams, being picked off time and time again. This bot lane we've praised so much is just having their worst series of the split, and it comes at such a crucial time. It's really unfortunate for them.
Yeah, they're definitely not out of this one, though. It's only that 2k gold lead. Yeah, they're not playing super cleanly at the moment, which is unfortunate for sure. But Glory still in a strong position. This Orianna can still shape the game. Strakthar steals away a red buff. Has been doing well on the Udyr. As always, your way...
Oh, Big Koro!
Big Koro, cheeky. As always, as predicted, your way said, trading Udyr for Hecarim? What are you doing? Hecarim is so much better. Well, just saying. Udyr's got 2 kills. Na's a lane bully after all.
Na's a lane bully, and I mean, there are certain members involved in our broadcast that would simply say it is all down to the fact that one of these junglers has a fan club, and the other one does not.
It's true.
And
It's true.
the one with the fan club is showing up strong.
It's true. There's no Zhu Hao fan club, at least not that I know of, but there is a Drakthar fan club, and its one member is very passionate.
Very, very passionate.
He's doing well. He's got that
Kinda
campaign.
concerning.
Concerningly patriotic, the Drakthar fan club. But it has been doing well, has been setting up plays really, really well. Zhu Hao, I am making a bit of a joke, of course, at the expense of our good friend Your Way. He's actually been playing fine. Hasn't gotten the kills, but that doesn't matter that much. The Hecarim has been good. The game slows down once more. It's 1.6k-ish gold lead. But a tower picked up on the top side. Doing well there is Big Koro. Dragon in 30 seconds.
Bit more gold. It's a bit more gold back for them, but Big Koro able to guard that just in time, so he has the ability to reset down towards this lane. Yardo needs to start rotating now because he doesn't have the teleport. He has the realm warp, but it's not the longest range. It will probably take. Oh, he uses it right away to cheat the time, and yeah, we see it takes him down to about wolves, so he is going to get there in time.
Yeah, and Cerberus have massive priority on positioning here. They've already started the dragon up. Finally, a ward comes in from Drakthar. Now it's BTS with the dragon pulled towards them, and there we go. Ryuk, he gets the play. Shockwave. This is going to try and take out Pun, but it might be taking a little bit too long. He finally goes down. Now they're going to turn around. Who's going to get the smite? It will be Zhu Hao. They invested a little bit too much into that Renekton, methinks.
That was far too much invested into Renekton. Do not send
they might turn this onto Baron,
Orianna down to that place. Send
if they get Baron,
there.
it's good.
This would be risky. If they do, that is a bonus for them, but it's very risky for them.
It's a big
They've
bonus.
used one of their big zoning tools with the Shockwave, and Zhu Hao still has Smite up. He has the Onslaught. He can enter the pit very easily.
Yeah, but they're going to go in. Rono P caught out by Elio, doing well, landing the taunt. They can just go straight back onto the Baron. This time, though, Pun is alive. On the way, Zhu Hao in position behind the pit. Can get over the wall with the Hecarim ult.
Still haven't dealt with the issues. The AoE damage is still there. It's onshore of Cyrus.
BTS, they're so
Shockwave
indecisive. Oh, come on.
They don't have the zoning ability. They will fight, but Cerberus is not giving it to them.
Oh,
and now
but Elio will find another
They've wasted
pick.
too much time. They've taken too much damage, and Pun's overstepped.
Yeah, Pun massively overstepped.
Yeah,
Elio
good work from Elio.
Yeah, claimed him out. That's another pick Elio is found, but they still can't get this Baron. It's not enough just to kill Pun. Drakthar moving forward. Doesn't even get the smite. Actually, he might have. I'm
going to get it.
No, Zhu Hao.
Zhu Hao smite.
Yeah, Zhu Hao got the smite. Well played there. And BTS, they pick up a few kills, but nothing on the objective meter. But still, gold in the pocket. Not something terrible. They have caught all the way up in gold. It is dead even at 36k each. So BTS,
unfortunately
fighting back
Unfortunately for them, they got basically the worst Drake that they could have. Meanwhile, Cerberus has two of the best in terms of individual baby Drakes.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make at the moment.
That's a lot more effective stats than the only difference they have, realistically. Besides map pressure. We still have this bot lane turret, because they can shove the wave up, and BTS cannot shove it back to their past the river. It's just... So what BTS really needs to be looking to do, besides playing around this Baron, is sending some resources down to the bot lane, trying to break open that turret, give them a means of forcing their vision forward, taking over these jungles, and having control around this bot lane objective. And now Artemis being run down, but Drakthar deciding against it. All to cleanse and flash still available from Artemis, so feeling very safe.
Yep, Drakthar didn't want to commit, didn't know where the rest of Cerberus was. In the end, it was a good decision, because reinforcements were very close by. Ryuk still pressuring down in this side lane, trying to crack this tower. Cerberus are playing the bait game. They have all of the vision around this topside river at the moment. 3 control wards set up.
Yeah, they control the river very well, but they don't have very deep control into the jungle, so they have to be
realm warp
reasonably
onto Bikoro,
cautious
onslaught of shadows. There's the Galio ult, but they're going to try and turn this around. The teleport's coming in immediately. Ryuk will land slightly sooner, but he has no Meganar, and that's Drakthar. Put in the solar flare. He has to try and run. He's doing a pretty good job of it. He'll get out, but he is removed from the fight. That's what matters. Bikoro tagging up Pun, but somehow no one goes down in that scrap.
In the end, it's a very good. It's basically just summoner spells traded. Big Card losing both the Flash and the Cleanse will be important coming up around these next few fights. Same with these teleports being down. It makes BTS a little bit more hesitant about sending Ryuk to the side lanes. Of course, teleporting there with no rage in his meter meant that he basically provided nothing to the fight, and it was by sheer that Drakthar was able to walk away on liver by even less than that.
Yeah, it was
Now
about
we're
as low as
seeing
you can
BTS
possibly.
once again second to the play.
Yeah, this
They
Infernal Drake
reset.
is spawning.
They reset.
As Drakthar
And
moves up, clearing up
if
position.
they give me the opportunity, I may get to complain about their staggering of resets, but there's pun on the
No,
flank.
never mind, because Solar Flare into the Onslaught of Shadows. Damage and into the backside goes Big Koro. Has to deal a little bit more damage. Gets 1-for-1 at the moment, but it's a jungler down for BTS. They do not have their smite while Zuhao is still here. And Zuhao hits the smite. They do that well. Ryuk throws him straight into the wall. They should be able to trade this one back onto the Hecarim. There are a lot of low health bars, and there's a Kai'Sa. The Kai'Sa's not being focused. Finally, Yado turns on to them.
Neither is Rice.
But it's 4 for 4 at the moment. Triple kill for the Xayah. Elio and Yado, the only ones left standing. It's a Justice Punch away.
Rundown.
Yeah, it's going to be an easy peasy rundown. It might take a little while, but Yado procs the phase rush. The Rune Prison, he actually flashes forward. The taunt comes in. Elio might actually escape. Nope, there's the run.
Oh my god!
No, Elio on the run. Oh, come on! Yeah!
Oh my
He's out of
god!
there!
With that miraculous escape, it actually turns out okay for BTS. They do lose the dragon though because Drakthar is their main form of engage. He's running in so far ahead of his team and getting deleted instantly. Look at this. You see it? It's actually Cerberus starting this up, and Drakthar, he knows I need to try and stall the backline for the team fight. Unfortunately, that means the dragon is left open. BTS sort of decides, hey, let's keep attacking and do as much damage to the dragon as we can so Zhuhao can just take it. Sure, that makes sense. And then it's a battle of who gets targeted less, the Rise or the Kai'Sa. And it is, in fact, the Rise. And Rise untouched is just godly. And then we're just going to see a bit of a run around. I'm amazed it took so long because Yado wanted to hold his flash. If he flashes here, he probably picks up the kill, but he just decides to try and get away with both and flashes way too late. Gives Elio time to get his cooldowns back. And it's enough.
I mean,
Elio just
it was,
walks away, barely dodging that last overload.
Yeah, that was very, very close, to say the least. In the end, it does end up with a big Xayah. Artemis now has 3 items completed, as well as the Last Whisper. Drakthar. This is kind of bothering Pun. They call it a teleport, though.
That's a
That
huge
was
victory for
very worried.
BTS.
Yeah, that's huge. Drakthar just walked in and kind of tickled Pun, and they instantly call the teleport.
So
they're just
Cerberus are
turn
going to
this
try
into
and make
Yeah.
that into something. They don't want to waste the teleport. Glory is on the wrong side of the map. He does have his teleport though, so as that ward comes down, he needs to teleport in really soon, but he's going to midwave.
Yeah, at the moment, they did manage to scare them off.
It's enough.
Yeah, Cerberus too worried. They don't want to lose the game on a dime. Not after they got such a good fight on the bottom side, and their ADC is so powerful. Talking about how good Artemis is. Best ADC in the league, this split, pretty much uncontested in that position. Has that 3 items on a Xayah. Is in a position to carry. Is BTS now starting up? God, stop bullying the Baron. Let him sleep. Either kill him or let the man sleep. Come on.
Either way, he's sleeping. But we're going to see a bit of an engagement for Artemis. Flash from Drakthar,
Ryuk
but
in a
there's no
bit of
way to
trouble,
follow
getting
up.
Chunked.
Yeah. Lots of engage tools used by BTS. It's not like there was a lot to take from it, but that's Flash from Drakthar. That's the main thing. It was used completely. It was wasted, basically. There was no way for anyone to follow up onto the Xayah. Plus, Xayah still had ultimate available, so as soon as a break in CC happened, she was just out of there. It was nothing forced at all. It was just a shame. Luckily for BTS, they do get a bit of time to try and recover that cooldown, as they have a lot of vision around this Baron. So while that's being cleared out, they have time to respond. There's still a minute until the Dragon. This is where the next fight is going to be. It has to happen here.
And I think
BTS,
Cerberus,
you have to play it. You have to be first.
Yeah. And I think they actually have to be even more proactive, because Cerberus has the option of forcing a Dragon for Baron trade, and BTS is in such a doomed spot if Cerberus make that call. So we need to see them being very proactive. Big Koro really far away from play here. Only just now entering the mid lane, which means Cerberus have priority of positioning. They're going to get the vision down. They're going to be the ones that are Johnny on the spot. Very cagey from both teams. Neither team wanting to be the ones to make the mistake. Dragon wings its way onto the rift. It's going to be the big fight.
Now BTS are going to just try and start it up and drag it away, but they have to be extremely careful for Zhuhao. It's so easy for him to access it.
They're going to take a 50-50, and it's actually Xayah that gets it, but it's Infernal Soul over to Cerberus on 4. And look at Pun, he finds the big flank. Big Koro is going to try and turn it around. Has gotten on top of Artemis, will take him down. This could turn around still. Big Koro, it's all on you, son, and he is put in the dirt. There it is, triple kill for Pun. Poss, get back to Korea, you're not needed. As they pick up the Infernal Soul, they'll move over to the Baron and serve dominant position.
BTS do not know what they're doing. They're just playing as if they don't have comms open. They're not making any decisions. They're not saying we need to keep Zhuhao down, or when the team fights break out, they're just sort of scattering and playing as individuals. They're not saying we need to deal with this rise. Their target selection is poor, and it's just given this game over to Cerberus. They're picking up the Baron, they picked up the Infernal Soul, and now what glimmers BTS had, they are very, very quickly being snuffed out.
Yeah, this is very, very difficult to win now. Cerberus has a fantastic late game scaling comp. Let's have a look at this replay and we'll go back to the discussion. The big one to watch here is Pun and Artemis.
Yeah, we just let Zhuhao come in. Cerberus timing their burst better, and then Pun makes a big play, but Yado, he's completely left alone, whereas Cerberus are the ones making the dive happen. All the big engages and all the big things from Pun are onto this pretty big front line. It's a 3-man ultimate, but it's onto Renekton, Hecarim, Leona, none of the valuable targets, whereas all the CC, all the big frontline damage is going straight onto Big Koro and Glory where it matters. And it's just BTS collapsing as a unit rather than, which is, slightly nicer than someone just running it down, because then they're not going to get beaten up in the locker room. I guess.
At least it's all of their fault.
Hooray, Elio! You don't get shoved in locker! Hooray for Elio!
Yay! He's not getting torn apart. Oh, there's an engage, and it's followed up immediately by the onslaught of shadows. Drakthar flashing away, and fast enough. Oh, but it's not over! Rod OP wants another bite at the apple. That might be the bite that was the poisoned one. As now they're having to go under the tower, but look at this, it's a rise with an Infernal Soul. It's a lot of damage! As they pick up a kill, they pick up a tower. And I think we can maybe write off the Miracle Run. I changed my predictions to believe in the Miracle Run, and then BTS just get 2-0'd. Come on. What's going on?
I mean, BTS, you've let down multiple memes today. You're getting 2-0'd. Where's your 1-game victory?
Yep.
You're losing the Miracle Run. That's just rude. The only thing I have going for me is Glory is performing well.
Yeah,
Thank you. I can still be on my nonsense from last year. It's great.
Oh, well, memes aside, it is Cerberus playing very, very well. We don't want to just talk about BTS because Cerberus are the ones putting on a show. All of their members have been doing extremely well so far this game. Particularly enjoying Yado being able to deliver a lot of damage against an Orianna. That's why Yulwei was so upset in fights. Orianna makes Ryze's life really hard. You wouldn't know it by this game, though.
Yeah, the glorious positioning of the ball has been... He's having to react to himself. He's not being able to get there first and set up the ball in positions that keep the Ryze out of the fight. He's not being able to play that, bring it. He's having to throw it out all around the place, trying to make damage happen. So his team is 5k down. That's just unfortunate. There's
Ron OP looking for
so
the
much
engage, but
diving.
Elio will hold him back. As there's the engage. Onslaught of Shadows going forward, and it's just Elio getting popped. His team might not be throwing him in the locker, but Cerberus certainly is. Galio unable to do anything. Drakthar moving forward, but he's just going to tickle Pun at this point. Pun managing to get away. They're actually going to continue to play. They really want to take down the Crocodile, and with Big Koro arriving, there is a lot of damage. Shockwave only goes on to Zuhao. This is a bit of a last chance saloon for BTS, and they do manage to pick one up. 50 seconds. This is actually pretty big. This is big. 45 seconds on the Hecarim Death Timer, 44 seconds on the Elder Dragon. It's about he spawns about 3 seconds before the dragon.
The only issue is how much damage Yado can do to the base. He's actually not going to get into the inhibitor turret itself, so they have the chance to push out these waves and get to the dragon to set things up. But here we're just going to see what Romeo and then don't know.
Nope. Marby's cutting in and out, but hopefully they're back in a short amount of time. No, you're back. I think you're back now. As we cut back to live,
I'm back.
And there is a team fight as Ryuk is getting absolute. Artemis does use their Gale Force, but Ryuk has to back off Drakthar super far ahead, and there's the Onslaught of Shadows. The first kill will come in onto Artemis. The Shockwave is good, but not good enough as Big Koro goes down. Artemis only going into that GA. It's not a true death. Double kill for Yado, and I think this might be the beginning of the end, as there's a teleport to cut them off. Glory and Ryuk have to make a heroic last stand, but this is definitely not the Alamo, as they will be taken down. It's a double kill for Artemis, double kill for Yado, and that's BTS cleaned off the rift. And it's true, miracles aren't real.
BTS continuing to try and make and force things to happen against their composition. This time they don't actually have really strong engage, and yet they're still just trying to find these picks and make things happen, but they're always picking on Pun because Pun is always the one standing forward because that's the job he's there to do. And because of this inability to play their comp, BTS are garbage, and I'm going to get killed by stans on Twitter.
And with that, we will go over to our analyst desk. I'll say goodbye for now, but you'll still be in the safe hands of the VCS English analyst desk.
Alrighty. We're bringing them back. Clockwork and Yulwei. Go ahead, get out of your systems. You predicted against the Miracle running. You were vindicated. You spoil sports.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Yeah, but also I wish BTS could take at least one game in the series. It's a bit unfortunate that they didn't pull up, despite having a lot of good tools. I believe that in the crucial fights, especially around the 4th and 5th Drake, there were some crucial mistakes in setup mainly, even if sometimes they had Prio and they had the chance to move on the objectives first and set up vision or prepare the team fight. They never did. They started to reset and thus letting Cerberus advance first, and that was very detrimental to their team fights. And I will also echo you, Mabi. about Glory this game. I think that he was really, really too trigger happy with his Orianna ultimates. Very often he deployed the ultimate just on one person, and on crucial moment there were at least like 5 instances where a very big shockwave could have changed the fight, but he always had the cooldown burned. So there's I would expect a game like this, a series like this at the beginning of the split, but not now, not after the 2-0 from last week.
Yeah, and I want to talk about 2 things. Maybe I'll even make a video. Maybe we can look at this together, because Clockwork, you wanted to focus on team fights, and I thought the team fights in this game were very interesting because there were 2 things happening, and one was the team composition for BTS being very dive focused, very jump heavy into the backline. That's what they wanted to do, but then they also had Orianna into Rice. So Orianna was able to control the space. And Cerberus found a very cool way to deal with these 2 things. And especially later on, the way they actually conducted the team fights was Artemis being first, going dive. He went dive Zaya. He flashed over the Dragon Wall. He created so much chaos, so much disruption for his Rice to just stand behind him and just fire the EQ. Usually the Rice is the one being on the front line and Zaya the one further back, but Artemis used this big lead, his 4-item power spike, to just get all the attention, put a big mark on his back, and all the enemy composition, the enemy team was occupied killing Artemis, which they succeeded in doing in the 2 team fights I'm talking about. But it took them so much focus, so much time, that their composition setup, their compact positioning around the Orianna zoning was disrupted, and then Rice just got to free fire. The other player I want to shout out is Pan, who found very, very good and crucial flanks to also get in there from behind to disrupt the confirmation of champions, to disrupt the compact positioning. So yeah, very, very cool teamfight adaptations from Cerberus with a short range composition to overcome the Orianna threat on the other side.
And with that, we can quickly bring up the standings and see how this game has affected them. Cerberus now firmly in that 2nd spot, well ahead of SBTC at the very least. Saigon Buffalo still yet to play. We will see them on Sunday.
Yep.
And we actually see SBTC again
Today.
Again in our
later
next
today.
They are very well off. Yeah, later today. Our next series today. And then the Burst the Sky. Match of the week is next week. Is tomorrow. Shut up, production.
Burst the Sky.
Burst the Sky.
Yeah.
They still have that win over Flash. They still have that win over G Media.
Yeah, so they're
on.
not making relegations. I'm pretty sure of it. Even if they drop some games here and there. Let me look at their next matches. They will face Steel Flash, but they won against G Luxury. So I think that they shouldn't be too afraid of making relegation. Maybe there's like a universe where they can end, I don't know, 6-8, which is still a pretty decent result. But I think their run for playoffs is sadly over. That doesn't mean that they can't take advantage of the time left in the split to improve and to give experience to Ryuk especially. They have elements that they can build upon in the next half of the split and then in summer.
Yeah, the run really got off the ground. But any last words before we chuck to a break?
Nope, I'm good to go.
Nope. Alrighty then. We will just see you later for GARM versus SBTC. Will SBTC bounce back up against the giants that are GARM, or will they continue their downward spiral out of playoffs? We'll see. See you later. See you soon.